You're here, aren't you? Not because an algorithm nudged you, not because you were bored and scrolling. You are here because something deep inside, a frequency only you can hear, just stirred. That quiet but persistent tug in your soul, it's the same one that has kept you up through countless nights, staring at the ceiling, wondering when your life would finally begin. It's the same current that made your stomach drop with every unexpected bank alert and turned your most fervent prayers into exhausted whispered monologues into the darkness. You've always known you're on a different wavelength, haven't you? You've felt it in rooms where everyone else fit in seamlessly, in conversations that felt like a foreign language, in ambitions that others called fantasies. Today, that static that has plagued your connection to your own destiny finally clears. Before the sun rises, the signal becomes crystal clear. Right now, as most of the world sleeps just before the dawn, there are tens of thousands, some spiritual texts might say as many as 36,000 in the US alone, who are wide awake at 3:17 a.m. This isn't insomnia, it's a divine appointment. They're staring at their resumes that sparkle with talent, degrees, and brilliant ideas, yet their wallets do nothing but cough dust. Statistically, you're probably one of them, another number in a data set of the overqualified and underpaid. But spiritually, you broke free from being just a number the second you chose kindness when you were broke. The moment you gave your last $10 to someone who needed it more. The instant you offered a word of encouragement when your own world was crumbling. That wasn't just a choice. It was your enrollment in an invisible academy, a school for the soul where the curriculum is hardship and the major is resilience. Your graduation? It's scheduled for tomorrow morning. Every chosen one operates with two calendars simultaneously. The first is on paper or on your phone, rent due, dentist appointment, oil change, parent's birthday. It's the calendar of earthly obligations. But the second calendar, the one that truly matters, is etched onto your soul. It has only one entry, the appointment. You felt it coming, like the low, distant rumble of thunder on a clear day. The signs have been escalating, bills piling up like snowdrifts, cherished relationships fading into static, even well-meaning friends questioning your calling when you can't even pay for a parking meter. This mounting tension, this suffocating pressure, it is not punishment, it is the final exam. Worldly universities have an examination week. Heaven has an approval week. This divine test isn't asking you to prove your worth through struggle. It's asking you to finally fully recognize it in the midst of the chaos. Every late fee, every eviction scare, every dinner of instant ramen, every forced smile when someone condescendingly says, "Just get a real job." These were not detours. They were deliberate, handcrafted modules in your spiritual education. They formed a curriculum designed to teach you that provision is not a paycheck. Provision is the unseen hand that mysteriously kept the lights on when the math said they should have been shut off weeks ago. It's the unexpected check in the mail for a forgotten gig. It's the friend who brings over groceries for no reason. Tomorrow morning, that syllabus completes. Everything you have painfully labeled as a failure, they are about to be converted into your highest credits, qualifying you for a destiny you couldn't have afforded otherwise. The great Dr. Miles Monroe nailed it with a timeless truth. Where purpose is unknown, abuse is inevitable. Now, apply that profound wisdom to your finances, and you will understand exactly why your bank account has been a battlefield. It wasn't punishment. It was a divine quarantine. It was a measure to stop you from abusing the power of wealth before you understood its true purpose in your mission. Chosen ones are not kept poor, they are kept separate. You have been held in a sacred isolation, separated until your ego can no longer write checks that your character cannot cash. Every denied loan, every polite rejection email saying they've gone with another candidate, every deleted crowdfunding link that broke your heart, that was heaven's loud, clear, and loving message. I am protecting your sacred mission from the version of you that would have blown the first sign of success on fleeting validation and hollow applause. Let that sink deep into your spirit. The profound loneliness you have been forced to drink like bitter coffee day after day. It was a refining fire. It was tempering your integrity, burning away the impurities of neediness and people-pleasing, making your spirit sharp enough to slice cleanly through the temptations that will inevitably come with your elevation. Tomorrow, this period of sacred separation ends, not because you prayed harder or fasted longer, but because the lesson clock has finally hit 59:59. The tempering is complete. There's a concept in behavioral science that it takes the human brain at least 7 full mornings to recalibrate and accept a new financial reality after a surprise windfall. Money that lands in your account today still means your neurology is braced for scarcity until this time next week, making you prone to panic and poor decisions. Heaven's timetable is far kinder. It waits until your mindset is a strong enough vessel to hold the blessing without it leaking out through fear. So tonight, you are going to conduct a sacred audit, nothing like the ones you dread. Grab a piece of paper and draw 2 columns. In column A, which you'll label rejection, write down every moment you interpreted as failure or abandonment, that job you didn't get, the friend who walked away, the application that was denied, the prayer that felt unanswered. Be specific. In column B, which you'll label rescue, write down the quiet, often overlooked miracle that followed. The $20 you found in an old coat pocket right after. The stranger who paid for your groceries in line. The friend who texted, "I'm thinking of you," at the exact second you were writing a goodbye note to the world. Now, fold that paper, seal it with the words, "Evidence I was never forgotten," and slide it under your pillow. You're not performing a magic trick. You are actively training your spiritual retina to recognize the constant, unwavering presence of mercy in your life. Tomorrow, your external numbers on your bank statement are scheduled to realign, because tonight, your internal ledger of gratitude already did. Everything, every tear, every doubt, every hardship will suddenly click into place when you hear the sound. This isn't an audible voice from the clouds. It is a profound, resonant click deep within your spirit. The unmistakable feeling of 1,000 scattered puzzle pieces of your life finally rushing together and kissing into a perfect, complete image. This sound manifests as an incredible release in your chest, like the moment a turbulent flight smooths out and the seatbelt light finally dings off, allowing you to breathe deeply for the first time. Your breakthrough isn't a lottery ticket you luckily scratched. It's a conversation you've been prepared for. It is a divine dialogue where heaven finally says, "We never intended for you to chase money. We intended for money to chase you, but it could only do so once you stopped chasing validation from a world that could never value you correctly." The instant that single sentence lands in your soul, your life's entire algorithm rewrites itself. You'll have the same data, the same past, the same challenges, but an entirely new interpretation. Those massive bills on your desk, they are no longer threats. They are invoices for the incredible services you are about to render to the world. That empty fridge, it's not a sign of lack. It's the universe making space for the catering that's about to arrive before your destined guests show up. That job rejection? It was a divine redirection letter pointing you toward that remote role that will double your salary and finally let you sleep a full 8 hours. Tomorrow morning, listen for that click. When it comes, just nod once. That simple nod, it is your signature on your new cosmic contract. The simple, universal physics of receiving is this. It is a downward motion. It is a posture of surrender. Think of it. Hands open and facing up, shoulders dropping away from your ears, a deep, full exhale. For years, most chosen ones have tried to receive upward, striving, clawing, begging, visualizing checks floating down from the ceiling. But true receiving is downward. It's surrender, but a surrender that is wearing its work clothes. So tonight, before you go to bed, take a hot shower. As the water pours over your head and shoulders, speak these 3 powerful statements aloud. I release the timeline. I receive the method. I remain the mission. Let the water and the steam carry those words and all the anxiety attached to them down the drain. This act teaches your subconscious mind a critical lesson, that letting go is not giving up. It is giving over to a higher, more intelligent power. When you step out of that shower, you are forbidden from checking your email. No scrolling through crowdfunding apps. No desperation texting your ex for a loan. Just go to bed with the unshakable, quiet confidence that the sun will clock in for its shift tomorrow morning. Universal physics dictates that the sun appears because the earth rotates into its light, not because anyone on the ground prayed hard enough for daylight. Grace and financial blessing operate on a similar non-negotiable math. It's about alignment, not argument. Those first 60 seconds after your eyes open tomorrow are the most important of your entire life. They will set the voltage for your new reality. Before your feet even think about touching the floor, before you check a single notification, whisper these words into the quiet of the morning. Thank you for the memory I haven't made yet. To the logical, cynical mind, this sounds like nonsense, but to your creative, powerful subconscious mind, it is a potent seed. You are planting a solution in the fertile ground of your future, in advance of the problem. Now, sit up on the edge of your bed. Place both palms over your heart. Breathe in slowly for a count of 4 and exhale even more slowly for a count of 6. That longer exhale is a direct biological signal to your nervous system that the war is over. You are safe. As you do this, picture a single calendar page in your mind turning over. Not just to tomorrow, but to 7 days from now. See yourself in that future moment, relaxed, shoulders down, bills paid, fridge stocked, your email inbox buzzing with opportunities, not emergencies. Feel the peace of that moment. Then, end that visualization by letting out a laugh, a deep, genuine, joyful laugh at a private joke between you and the universe. Why laughter? Laughter is the sound barrier that money has to break when it is finally catching up to the speed of your faith. Whatever you do, whatever breakthrough arrives, you must not post about it on social media for at least 72 hours. This is non-negotiable. Chosen ones too often announce the planting of a seed before it's safe from the birds of envy and doubt. Your blessing is a newborn. It needs quiet, and it needs privacy to gain its strength. Use that sacred silence wisely. Instead of crafting a public post, send genuine private thank you emails or texts to the people who gave you £5 or $20 when it was the only thing that kept you alive. Go into your phone and finally archive the painful screenshots of overdue notices and threatening emails. Update your LinkedIn headline now, not to the title you are desperately escaping, but to the title you will hold by the end of next week. Project the reality you are stepping into. Let the internet think you've vanished for 3 days. Let your bank account be the only thing that does the talking for the next week. When you do finally share your story, speak only about the lesson, never the specific amount. Amounts invite jealousy and comparison. Lessons invite multiplication and inspiration in others. Remember, the goal was never to go viral. The goal is to go vital, fully alive, fully funded, and fully focused on the mission you were born for. If your pulse has quickened while reading this, if you felt a stirring of recognition in your soul, type "I'm listening" in the comments below. The world's algorithms will count those keystrokes as votes for engagement, boosting the signal. But the angels, they count them as agreements, as a conscious yes to the contract being offered to you. Either way you look at it, That tally matters. Make your declaration. Doubt will come knocking. It's an inevitability. It will probably show up around 4:44 a.m., that other holy hour when the veil is thin and your defenses are down. It always does. So, you must have your emergency exit plan ready tonight. Before you sleep, open the voice memo app on your phone. Label a new recording proof. Now, record a 30-second message from your future self, the one who has already come through this. Speak with calm authority. Hey, it's me. I'm calling you from your future. Remember that one morning when everything finally made sense? You're right back there at that turning point right now, so I need you to trust me. We made it. It was real. It all worked out better than we imagined. When doubt begins to play its greatest hits, the track's titled, "You're Naive, Nothing Ever Changes, and the Universe is Random and Cruel." Just hit play on that memo. Hearing your own voice describing a victory you haven't technically lived yet does something profound. It short-circuits the logical brain's skepticism. Neuroscientists call this preemptive memory implantation. Ancient prophets called it calling things that are not as though they were. Both are correct. It's a loophole in reality. Use it. Within the next 7 days, you will receive a small, unexpected amount of money. It won't be enough to retire your student loan or buy a house, but it will feel like a distinct wink from the cosmos. It's a test. Your assignment is this: give 10% of it away within 24 hours. And not to a formal charity, not to a church offering plate. You must give it to a person, directly. Hand cash to that exhausted-looking barista. Slip it into the mailbox of that elderly neighbor you know is rationing their insulin. Tuck it into the jacket pocket of that homeless veteran you see on the corner. Why? Because chosen ones are not blessed to become reservoirs that hoard. You are blessed to become hoses that distribute. The faster the flow of blessing moves through you, the cleaner the pipe becomes. Stagnant gratitude becomes stinky, entitled water. But circulated gratitude, that is living water. Do this generous act in complete secret. Do not post a receipt. Do not tell anyone. Heaven keeps far better and more accurate records than any blockchain. Sometime tonight, stand before your bathroom mirror. Don't just glance at your reflection. Look yourself dead in the eye, past the tired skin and the worried brow, and into the warrior spirit behind them. Say clearly and firmly, I was chosen for pressure, because pressure turns carbon into the kind of diamond that cuts through glass ceilings. Say it again. Say it until you stop rolling your eyes in disbelief. Say it until your posture straightens. Say it until you start to nod in agreement. Your breakthrough is not some external event riding in on a white horse to save you. It is an internal witness riding in on the power of the very words you have the courage to speak to yourself. It is an identity shift. When tomorrow's first light hits that mirror, you won't just see a person who is tired and stressed. You'll see someone who no longer begs for breaks, but has become strong enough to break open blessings for others. That is the moment everything truly makes sense. Not when your bank balance changes, but when your identity crisis finally, blessedly ends. So here we are, on the threshold, minutes away from the day that rewrites your entire story from a tragedy into an epic. You have the instructions for your mind. You have the timetable for your spirit. You have your contingency plan for doubt, and you have the sacred protocol for giving. All that is left is the simplest and yet most profound act of all, to believe that what has already been prepared for you is real, and then to act like it. When the sun finally cracks that horizon, listen for that deep internal click. Feel that wave of relief, that deep exhale you've been holding in for years. Then walk into your kitchen and make your morning coffee like someone whose bills are already paid. Like someone who trusts the process, because after tomorrow morning, spiritually and then physically, they will be. If you are ready to receive your breakthrough without sabotaging it, type Amen below as a final seal on your intention. Share this message with that one person who kept you alive with 20 pounds and a prayer when you had nothing else. And remember, through all of it, you were never behind. You were always on time, divine time,